I'm Joseph Fogg. I'm the founder of HAON Earth, the home of one's personal carbon management. So what is HAON Earth, and what is this home of one's personal carbon management? Well, I see HAON as a response to a problem that we validated within our sector, and that is that there is a lack of a defined home of one's personal carbon management, a platform where one can track, be rewarded for forming sustainable habits. In a user survey we did talking to our potential customers, we found that 99.9% of people indicated that they care about environmental issues to some degree, whereas 100% indicated that they are not confident about their ability to track, manage, and generally interact with their personal carbon footprint on a day-to-day basis, nor would they even know where to start. And that is why we are stepping in to build the defined home of the concept of personal carbon management, and tracking your personal carbon footprint, and even tracking and being rewarded for forming sustainable habits and making more planet-friendly choices. So where are we now? Well, last year we won the University of Manchester Kickstarter Award, which was fantastic, and it was able to fund us to get to where we are today, which is a very basic but functional initial prototype with one core product loop, and that is estimating either your carbon footprint over the course of a month, or estimating the carbon cost of a carbon intensive activity that you may have performed recently, let's say a flight from London to New York, and you'll be able to offset this. You will receive carbon, or offset carbon, in the form of a sloth token that you can then buy and sell with our tradable voluntary carbon marketplace. So we are essentially gamifying sustainability and carbon offsets. And this is an example of how our prototype looks like today. So here you can see you can buy and sell this offset carbon in the form of these digital trading cards, with each sloth having a certain amount of offset carbon attributed to them. This is rather unique, as we aren't handling all of your offset carbon, but rather letting you handle it and putting you in control of your offset carbon, allowing you to buy and sell or even collect sloths which have unique features. For instance, like you might have a gold first sloth and collect all these carbon in the digital collectibles that look the same. And next we have a close-up of what it'll look like having your carbon stored in your inventory. All this will be replaced with real-time carbon data, looking at that offset and how much carbon it was worth. And then on the right you can see our leaderboard mechanism and how you can track your carbon footprint to your friends, see how much carbon offset you've offset compared to your friends, and there's even scope for B2B capabilities here in the future, whereby an organisation might compare who's got the lowest carbon footprint or who's offset the most carbon that month for particular corporate rewards. Now, in terms of competitors, our closest is probably the Klima app, and this is probably the only consumer-facing carbon offsetting app. And on your onboarding process, you're asked a few basic questions about your lifestyle, you're given an estimated cost to offset your carbon, and then you pay per month to basically make yourself net zero. And we also have Ecology, which is a fantastic organisation that invests in carbon reduction programs and plants a lot of trees and do some brilliant business-to-business work. Now, we really want to step in and look at residual carbon footprint and behaviour, and this is our unique approach. Whilst these carbon offsetters produce some great work, if that's all you're after, we found that there's a disjointedness when we're talking to our users, where they feel like the suite of tools available at the moment, such as these, are rather fragmented, and there's still no clearly defined home of one who wants to be more sustainable, perhaps doesn't know how, whereas these better serve those that are already participating in the voluntary carbon market. So this is our rather unique approach, as I mentioned before. It's sustainability gamified, and we want to be the ones that focus on the residual carbon that we all have, the carbon that is just existing in our lives, and the only way we can reduce that is by altering behaviours. So if we drive to the store, instead we could maybe be encouraged to cycle, through financial incentives or even data visualization and education facets, all within our app. So we want to just basically make more sustainable citizens and put you in control of your carbon. So when you pay for a carbon offset, you get something tangible, albeit digital, but tangible and more than just a digital thumbs up. So in terms of our business model, we like to say, HAON Earth It pays to be sustainable, and we'll make money through carbon offsets by taking a percentage of all in-app carbon offsets. We'll then take a subsequent percentage of all in-app marketplace transactions where people buy and sell carbon in our own voluntary carbon marketplace. And then this is part of our first iteration, the first prototype of the app. In the second iterations, we'll look to work in building a cashback system where we can financially incentivize sustainable purchases and sustainable decisions in the form of cold hard cash. Instead of rewarding mindless consumerism, we want to divert consumers to make more sustainable choices to B Corp businesses. So instead of buying a t-shirt from Boohoo, we'd encourage you financially to buy one from Pangaea, for example. We'll also look at having affiliate links to more sustainable projects. We'll also have programmatic advertising in our walled garden of sustainability-focused individuals. And we can also look at corporate schemes, as we touched on before, with our leaderboard mechanisms. We also think we've validated a problem in an incredibly exciting marketplace as well. Here it's estimated that the cashback industry will be worth $200 billion by 2024. And the voluntary carbon market is already estimated to be worth about $2 billion by Boston Consulting Group, and is likely to reach $10 to $40 billion in 2030. And if we can achieve our North Star of being the world's largest consumer voluntary carbon market, we've got some scope to really capitalize off this problem in a very exciting market segment. I'd like to coin a three-circle approach to how we will onboard users to HAON. The first one is the smallest circle, and this is people that are already engaged with their personal carbon footprint and even carbon offsets. This is a small subsection of consumers, and they may be slightly served by the current suite of tools, but it's more likely they'll volunteer their carbon on a new app. Next is the people the majority of people really, I would say, who are trying to make some sort of a difference, or making an effort with recycling, or just making kind of slightly more sustainability conscious choices in their day-to-day life. Let's say in the supermarket, they may not opt for a bottle of wine that's flown all the way around the world. They'll opt for something a bit more close to home. So a bottle of French instead of a bottle of Argentinian or a New World wine. And the final circle is people that maybe slightly care to some degree, but don't take any action to make their sustainable footprint lower. And we would like to onboard these people to operate in the realms of our voluntary carbon marketplace. These people will benefit more from the data visualization, the education, the leaderboard mechanisms comparing with their friends, whereas these people are likely to be pushed down the funnel if we use financial incentives like the cashback and so on and so forth. So who's building it? Well, there's me, Joseph Fogg. I'm a graduate of the University of Manchester in Innovation Management, and I basically had the idea to validate this problem and step in to build something which could be the defined home of one's personal carbon management, to plug this gap in a very exciting market, and very important market to me as well. I've also got my long-term friend Liam Hesketh as a freelance developer working on HAON at the moment. He's been a real lifesaver because with like such finite resources from the Kickstart program, we've been able to get to our first prototype stage, and he's willing to work on it beyond it. He doesn't want to relinquish control of his development duties on this app anytime soon. So in terms of the support I'm looking for from Venture Further, from you guys, I see it as like a vital bridge that bridges the often insurmountable gap for founders, which is from early stage prototype to an MVP, which is looking like it's ready for SEIS funding. I really feel that the support from the university, even to help you beyond the cash prize and Venture Further, is all completely invaluable and represents the support that an ambitious idea needs to take it to the next level. I really appreciate your time, and I've stuck in a little University of Manchester slot there as my token of appreciation for listening to my pitch. I very much look forward to addressing your questions now in the second half of this pitching process. Thank you so much. Goodbye.